What if I told you the bank already decided whether to approve you before you filled out a single field on that application? Not based on how hard you worked, not based on what you make, not based on who you are, based on a number and a strategy you were never taught. My name is Sean Daniel, or better known as Sean the Strategist, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why your credit score isn't moving, why you keep getting denied, and how people who understand this one game are walking away with $50,000 to $100,000 in approved funding while you're still waiting on a decision email. Stick with me, because what I'm about to share with you changed my entire financial life. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Let me ask you something honest. Have you ever done everything right, paid on time, kept your balances low, checked your score every month, and still watched that number just sit there? Or worse, watched it drop without any idea why? Maybe you applied for a car loan and got hit with a 24% interest rate, if they approved you at all. Maybe you tried to get a business line of credit and the banker looked at you like you were asking for something you had no right to ask for. Maybe you've got collections sitting on your report from years ago, stuff you barely even remember, dragging your score down every single month. And here's what nobody talks about. It's not just the denial letter that hurts, it's what the denial does to you inside. It's the feeling that the system is working against you, that no matter what you do, you can't get ahead, that maybe, and I hate that this thought even exists, maybe you just aren't meant to have the kind of access that other people have. I know that feeling. I lived in it. Because here's the truth nobody in the financial world wants to say out loud. The credit system was not designed to be understood by the people who need it most. The bureaus are data companies. The banks are algorithms, and the rules of the game, the real rules, were never in any financial literacy class, any YouTube video, or any advice your parents gave you. The less you know, the more the system profits from your confusion. And you've been playing a rigged game with half a rule book until right now. I want to take you back a few years. I was sitting at my kitchen table, stack of papers, a screen showing me a 500-something credit score, and a list of denials that felt like a personal attack. I wasn't broke because I was irresponsible. I wasn't in this position because I didn't work hard. I was here because I had been playing a game, a very specific, very calculated game, without knowing the rules. I did what most people do. I Googled everything. I watched every YouTube video. I followed every pay on time, lower your utilization tip I could find. And my score moved, barely. I'd get one thing fixed and two new things would show up. I'd pay something off and my score would drop, which made 0 sense. And I remember specifically paying down a $1,000 card before the due date, feeling good about it, and watching my score tank because I didn't know that it wasn't the due date that mattered. It was the statement closing date. That's when the bureaus report, not when you pay, when they report. That one lesson, that one shift was worth more than a year of doing it wrong. And that's when I realized something that completely changed how I looked at all of this. Credit isn't a score. Credit is a system. And systems can be understood, mapped, and worked strategically. I stopped asking, how do I improve my score? And started asking, how does the machine actually work? I studied Metro 2 compliance, the actual data standard the bureaus use to format your file, and realized most negative items on most reports have errors in that format alone that make them disputable. I studied FICO's own documentation on how the 5 scoring factors actually interact, and found strategies that moved scores 80 plus points in under 60 days. I learned which lenders pull which bureau, so instead of applying blind and getting 3 hard inquiries on a single application, I could sequence my approach and protect my file. I built a business credit profile completely separate from my personal that let my company qualify for funding without my personal score being touched. And I documented all of it. Every strategy, every workflow, every script, every step. I went from locked out to loan approved. From a 500 that barely got me a secured card to a credit profile that qualified my business for real funding. And then I started teaching it. And I watched client after client do the same thing. People who had 3 collections and 2 maxed out cards cleared their file and hit 700 plus inside of 90 days. Business owners who had been turned down for every line of credit, who now have Paydex 80 plus scores and 5, 6, 8 reporting trade lines getting them into funding they never thought was possible. Not because they got lucky, because they finally had the system. I call it the Ascension Credit Architecture. It's not a tip sheet. It's not a check your score every month, PDF. It is a complete battle-tested system that works in 4 phases. Phase 1, foundation. We clean the file. Metro 2, compliant dispute strategy. FCRA leverage, identity data hygiene. We remove what doesn't belong and confirm what does. Phase 2, optimization. We work the 5 score factors strategically, not randomly. Utilization mastery using the AZEO method, statement date reporting strategy, authorized user positioning, credit mix engineering. Phase 3, business credit build. We build a completely separate business credit profile, EIN linked, Paydex focused, trade line stacked, using a 4-stage vendor progression that starts working in 60 to 90 days. Phase 4, funding access. We position you for real approvals, business credit cards, lines of credit, vehicle financing, using strategic sequencing so you know which lender to approach, in what order, based on which bureau they pull. That's the game. That's the full map. I packaged this entire system into one playbook. It's called From 500 to Funding. The ultimate credit and business financing playbook. This is the extended edition, and it is everything. I'm talking about a 180-day, week-by-week roadmap, so you know exactly what to do, when to do it, in what order. The exact dispute scripts and templates I use, word for word, so you're not guessing what to write. The full Metro 2 compliance framework, the same data standard used by the bureaus, broken down so you know exactly how to challenge what's on your file and why it works. Utilization mastery strategies, including the AZEO method, that have moved scores 80 plus points in under 60 days. The complete 4-stage business credit build from starter net 30 vendors all the way to fleet cards, retail lines, and travel credit. Every vendor listed with their bureau reporting and approval notes. The 90-day application wave protocol. How to sequence your credit applications so you maximize approvals while protecting your score from unnecessary inquiries. Actionable checklists for every stage. Real-world templates. Case studies. Decision frameworks. Telling you when to push, when to pause, when to escalate. This is not a PDF you read once and forget. This is a credit operating system you work through step by step. And on the other side is a completely different financial profile. Now here's where I want to be very specific about what you're getting today, because I want you to understand the actual value of what's on this page. Item 1, From 500 to Funding, the extended edition. This is the core playbook, every framework, every script, every roadmap. If you were to hire a credit strategist to walk you through this process one-on-one, you'd be looking at $500 to $1,500 for a consultation package minimum. And that's without the templates, the dispute language, or the business credit build system included. Standalone value, $997. Item 2, the secret lender's master list. This is the intelligence layer. This is the document that tells you, before you fill out a single application, which credit bureau each major lender pulls, what score range typically gets approved, which cards have the easiest approval thresholds, and how to use the back-to-back application strategy to submit multiple applications in a single session before inquiries have time to propagate across lender systems. Capital One, Chase, American Express, Citi, Discover. Secured card options that report to all 3 bureaus. Store card issuers, Synchrony and Comenity, with mid-600 approvals and instant decisions. Pre-qualification plays at every major bank. 0 hard inquiries to test your odds. Net 30 business starters to begin your business credit profile from day 1. Credit consultants charge $300 to $500 sessions to share what's in this one document. Standalone value, $297. Total combined value, $1,294. And I am giving you both of these today for $37. $37. That's less than a dinner out. Less than a tank of gas. Less than 1 hour with a credit consultant who might not even know what Metro 2 is. $37 for a complete credit and funding operating system. Plus, the lender intelligence that most people never even know exists. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Sean, I've tried stuff like this before. I bought a course, I watched videos, nothing worked. I hear you, and here's the difference. Most credit content teaches you what to do. This teaches you why the system works the way it does, and then shows you exactly how to work it. When you understand the Metro 2 data standard, not just dispute your stuff, but why a correctly formatted Metro 2 dispute hits different than a template letter, you're playing a completely different game. What if my credit is really bad, like really low? Will this work? This playbook was built for people starting from the bottom. Case A in Chapter 1 has a 524 score, 3 collections, and 2 maxed out cards. There is a specific path in this system for exactly that situation. Starting from damaged credit is not a disqualifier. It's literally the starting point this was designed for. I don't have time to go through a whole playbook. The 180-day roadmap is week by week. You are not doing all of this at once. Some weeks, the only action is sending a follow-up dispute letter. The system is designed for real people with real lives, not people who can dedicate 40 hours to this. Is this legal? Every strategy in this playbook operates within the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. These are your legal rights. Disputing inaccurate data on your credit report is not a loophole. It is federal law. The FCRA exists specifically to give you the right to accurate, verifiable information on your file. This system teaches you how to use those rights the way they were intended to be used. I want you to imagine something for a second. It's 90 days from now. You've worked through the first 2 phases of the system. You pull your credit report, and the collections that were dragging you down, gone. Disputed out using the Metro 2 framework. Your utilization is sitting under 10% using the statement date strategy. Your score has moved not 10 points, but 60, 80, maybe more, into a range where lenders start saying yes instead of no. You apply for a card strategically because you check the lender's master list first, you know exactly which bureau that lender pulls, and your Experian profile is clean. Approved. $7,000 limit. No high interest, no subprime terms. Now it's 180 days from now. Your business has 5 reporting vendor trade lines. Your paydex score is at 80. You're in conversations with a lender about a business line of credit using your EIN, not your social security number. Your EIN, your personal credit, and your business credit are 2 separate weapons, and you know how to use both. That's not a fantasy. That's the roadmap. And it starts with a decision you make right now, today, on this page. Here's what I want you to do right now. Click the button below this video. You're going to see the checkout page for from 500 to funding, plus the secret lender's master list, bundled together for $37. The moment your order is confirmed, you get instant access to both. No waiting, no shipping, no runaround. And here's my guarantee. Go through this material. Apply the strategies. Work the roadmap. If you don't feel like this was worth 10 times what you paid, email my team within 30 days and we'll refund every dollar. 0 questions. 0 hoops. 0 hassle. The only way you lose is if you never open it. Now, I want to be honest with you about something. This price is not permanent. I keep this accessible because I want the people who need it most to be able to get it. But this is not a discount that lasts forever. When this page comes down and comes back, it comes back at full price. If you're watching this right now, this offer is live. Don't let this be the moment you said, I'll come back to this later, and then went back to getting denied. Click the button. Get the system. Get the intelligence. Stop guessing. Start building. The credit game has rules. You now know they exist. The only question is, are you going to learn them or not? Click that button. I'll see you on the other side.